It was early in the morning. All the chief priests and the elders of the people planned how to put Jesus to death. So they tied him up, led him away, and then they handed him over to Pilate, which was the governor. Jesus was standing in front of the governor. The governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Yes, you have said so," Jesus replied.
But when the chief priests and the elders brought charges against him, he did not answer. Then Pilate asked him, "Don't you hear the charges they are bringing against you?" But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge. The governor was really amazed.
Jesus was tied up with rope when he was brought before Pilate. We are tied up by all the wrong things we do, and we stay tied up until Jesus forgives us and sets us free.
Have everyone in your family grab a rope. Tie a knot in it as you think about the wrong things you have done. Once you've done this, tie them all together, and we start to get a glimpse of the price that Jesus had to pay.
Matthew 27, verse 24. Pilate saw that he wasn't getting anywhere. Instead, the crowd was starting to get angry. So he took water and washed his hands in front of them. "I am not guilty of this man's death," he said. "You are accountable for that."
Pilate washed his hands to tell people that Jesus' death was not his fault. Have you ever tried not to take responsibility for something wrong you did? Or have you done something you weren't allowed to do and pretended that you didn't do it? Silently ask Jesus to forgive you and to help you make things right.
Next, fill a bowl up with water. Then, dip your fingers in the water and touch it to your forehead. As you do this, think about how Jesus' death washes us clean from all the wrong things that we do.
The governor's soldiers took Jesus into the palace, which was called the Praetorium. All the rest of the soldiers gathered around him. They took off his clothes and put a purple robe on him.
The Bible tells us that although Jesus is God, he is also completely human, except he never sinned. Jesus knows what it's like to be sad, angry, afraid, and in trouble.
Before Jesus was crucified, soldiers took a crown of thorns and pushed it down on his head. They did this to mock him and to hurt him. But Jesus really is our King. To show that you belong to him, write your name on a card or slip of paper or even on a red ribbon itself and attach it to the crown of thorns.
Matthew 27, verse 34 through 37. There they mixed wine with bitter spices and gave it to Jesus to drink. After tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had nailed him to the cross, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. They sat down and kept watch over him there. Above his head they placed the written charge against him. It read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews."
Our sins, whether they seem big or little to us, are the reason that Jesus had to die on the cross. That's the only way that God could put the word he created right again. No person could do this, only God could.
Find some wood and make a cross. Then grab a hammer and some nails. Have someone help you pound the nails into the wood. This helps us remember how our sins put Jesus on the cross.
Matthew 27, verses 38 through 34. 2 rebels against Rome were crucified with him. One was on his right and one was on his left. Those who passed by shouted at Jesus and made fun of him. They shook their heads and said, "So, you are going to destroy the temple and build it again in 3 days. Then save yourself. Come down from the cross, if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders made fun of him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross. Then we'll believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. He's the one who said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with Jesus also made fun of him.
Jesus loves each of us so much that he died for us. His death was painful and hard, but he was willing to give himself up for us to make us right with God.
Make a paper cross or use the link provided to print this one out, and then decorate it with bright colors and then display it in a prominent place in your house to remember that Christ gave himself up for us.
Before we move on to the next station, let's sing again.